Hi, my name is Marcia Jews. Welcome to STEM City USA's coverage of the Women of Color STEM Conference. Through all 3 days, we will be bringing you incredible interviews with inspiring STEM pioneers leading the way in industry, government, academia, and around the world. And now, please welcome our next guest.
Hi, my name is Ashley Johnson Long, and I'm Chief of Staff to the President and COO at Corning Incorporated. Something interesting about me is that I got into engineering because I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a child. I wanted to become an astronaut after doing a report on Macy Jameson, the first African-American female to go into space. While I didn't become an astronaut, I did work at NASA for 2 summers. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm your host, Marcia Jews, and we are here with Dr. Ashley Johnson Long, who is an accomplished engineering professional at Corning Incorporated. She was recently appointed Chief of Staff to the President and COO. And prior to this role, Dr. Johnson was the Plant Engineering Manager at the Integrated Die Manufacturing Plant of the Corning Environmental Technologies Division. She co-led the technical die business team and ensured technology synchronization for regional and contract manufacturing of dies. Having joined Corning in 2012, Dr. Johnson has made significant contributions to the company's growth and innovation. She has been instrumental in developing and delivering numerous die improvements and developing a portfolio of new die manufacturing techniques that have increased capacity and improved capability to meet the growing demand in CET. Beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Johnson Long is dedicated to promoting diversity and inclusion in the workplace. She co-founded the first Toastmasters Club in the Corning Valley, served on the leadership team for the Corning Black Growth Council, and actively participated in programs aimed at empowering young girls in their career exploration. Dr. Johnson Long also serves on the Corning Painted Post, New York Board of Education, and holds a bachelor's degree in science degree in electrical engineering from Florida A&M University, a master's of science degree, and a PhD in electrical and computer engineering from Georgia Institute of Technology. She has received several accolades for her contributions, including being named modern day technology leader to the Black Engineer of the Year Awards program. She is married with 2 sons. Welcome, Dr. Johnson Long. Girl, you have been doing some work.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
I appreciate that.
So where did you get this desire to be so active and to just explore?
Oh, goodness. My family, to be perfectly honest. My grandfather, the late Dr. Johnson, he was all about to whom much is given, much is required.
Right.
And he was just very active in the community in Philadelphia. He always instilled in me the importance of an education, and my parents just continued that, and they just modeled it for me in terms of seeing them work hard in their day jobs, but not allowing that to take them away from also doing work in the community as well. So it's kind of just, that's what we do.
That's exactly, that's what we do. But also there's another dimension here because of their efforts and what all they had accomplished. They instilled that in you because there's a drive for you to have all of this experience,
Yes.
right? How do you sit and vision yourself? What do you see as your vision for your future? How did you structure that and map it out?
Right. Oh, that's a wonderful question. So how did I map it out? So in the beginning, when I was younger, I knew I wanted to be an engineer. My bucket list is to meet Macy Jameson, the first African-American female that went into space. But at a young age, I wanted to be an astronaut. Then I said, okay, maybe that won't work out. I did apply though, but I didn't get selected. But I knew that engineering was for me. And when I think about being an engineer, it's not just the technical work and the impact that I can have, but it's about legacy building. So I always look at it as whatever I do, I want to leave it better than when I first got there. So when I think about my work, and when you're to your question of just kind of mapping it out,
Yes.
I think about how can I challenge myself? What can I do differently? And with each new role I go into, or for anything that I do in the community, I think, how can I grow? But how can I also help whatever that organization is at the same time? So I'd love to say I have it all mapped out for what it's going to look like. That is not a true statement. But I do try to be at least intentional in terms of how I spend my time, and to the extent I can at work, the types of assignments that I get to work on.
But as you're also not only active in your work that you do, because it's not for the faint of heart, right? Let's
Certainly.
talk about how there is disparity in what you and your colleagues are probably all doing to affect that change.
There is certainly disparity. You know, when I think about when I was in school for engineering and even in the workplace, oftentimes it's one of one as a Black female. And I think it's important when we think of the youth, how do we change that? How do we provide representation to them? So I do that through my work in the sorority, where I've worked with young children in terms of providing them exposure to STEM and doing mentorship with them through Corning Incorporated, working with different high school students that come in. I've worked with a program called Choices, where it was middle school girls had the opportunity to come on site for a day to get exposure to different careers. And while Corning has a level of diversity, there aren't as many Black females. So I thought it was important to be involved in that program. Again, so they could see me, they could ask questions, and allow them the opportunity to follow up. And then when I just think about the work that I do on the school board, it's making sure that we're always looking through a diversity lens and making sure that students are the center of all that we do, and just providing more programming. And my personal passion is STEM, so that's always the angle that I try to bring to anything that I work on.
Well, but it's also very important, and STEM is very important. And too often, many folks bypass a lot of the things that seem challenging, but could actually change the trajectory of their lives. Right? And STEM's going to be around. And for those of you who may just be walking by, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And when you have that foundation, it allows you to go anywhere, and you can go anywhere from here. What would you say to someone that really doesn't understand or think that the sciences and the technology and all that engineering and math work is, I can't do it, right? How do you, there's a lot of folks that can't wrap their heads around it. How do we change that, or what programs do you know about, or that you're doing that can help them see why they should be part of STEM?
Right. First, I'd say don't run away from the challenge. Even if it's not STEM and you're doing something in the arts, there can still be challenges that come along with this. I'll say that just as kind of like a baseline starting point. But in terms of what you can do, if you are a youth, I would encourage people to get involved in NSBE. It's the National Society of Black Engineers. They have NSBE Junior chapters, which is for students that aren't yet in college. Wonderful program, opportunity for you to get some early exposure, to be able to do hands-on projects. There's FIRST Robotics, which is something that in the past I helped out with, not as much now, but it's a way for young kids to get hands-on experience. Because sometimes people think, oh, well, I'm not that good at math, I can't do this. But then when you give them something tactile to do, they're like, oh, I can do this. So once you get them hooked in that way, then it's okay, well, let me tell you some of the theory behind what you just did. So it's finding new and innovative ways to connect with people to then bring them in. And then I'd say for those that are older, it's never too late.
Right.
Yeah, it is never too late to get involved if you have that desire.
That chutzpah to do it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So now we know that you were changing the culture in Corning, which is wonderful, and congratulations. And we're really appreciative of the hard work that you're doing, because I know it wasn't all easy. But you're there now. What do you see for the next 5 to 10 years?
In terms of my career, just in general.
In your career and in how STEM's going to be impactful within that organization.
Oh, certainly. So I'll say Corning is such a strong company when it comes to innovation, and we're constantly looking at what are the different market access platforms that we can continue to innovate to bring solutions to help to better the lives of people. So when I think about myself, I recently moved into a role as Chief of Staff for our President and COO. But my core is still being a technologist. I don't want to lose my core. Where I see myself in the next 5 years, hopefully having the opportunity to lead an even larger organization, but staying within that technical field. So prior to the chief of staff role, I was a plant engineering manager at one of our manufacturing sites in environmental technologies, and I led that engineering organization. It was such a rewarding and yet challenging experience, but I'd hope to be able to do that at an even higher level and to be able to set some of the strategic direction that we're moving.
And that's huge. So within the organization, you have affinity groups
Yes.
within.
Mhm.
How do they work with you and what you do as chief of staff? How does that work together?
Certainly. So within Corning, we have what we call employee resource groups, similar to affinity groups. I've been an active member of our Black Growth Council that has now turned into the Corning Black Employee Network. And in my role of chief of staff, it's really how do we bridge that gap with our leaders? If there's some support that they need, helping to provide that, helping to give the exposure to employees by having the leaders to come to speak. And where do I see it going? The ERGs that we have been really instrumental in helping with professional development for employees, myself included, truly benefited from having that opportunity when I first started in my career, in what I would call a safe space, if you will, to practice some of those leadership skills, to test things out, to lead a small group. So I see us, continuing with that path of helping employees.
Okay. And so I understand you won an award here.
Yes, I do.
Congratulations. Let's
Thank
talk about
you.
what that means to you.
Yeah, so I won the Women of Color in STEM Professional Achievement in Industry Award. And, first I'm honored and I'm humbled because, you do your work each day. You're not thinking about winning an award. I'm just thinking about the people that I'm leading, the impact that I'm having, the technology. So one, I'm just so appreciative to Corning for recognizing the work that I was doing and nominating me for that. So it's really confirmation that I'm doing the work and I'm having an impact. And then for it to be peer reviewed and others to feel the same way, it means a lot. And the fact that we have these awards to highlight women of color, I think is so important from a representation standpoint and to just highlighting and elevating the work that we do. So it means a lot.
It's huge.
Yeah,
It's absolutely
yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're talking to people who've won different awards, it's like, how did I get there? How did I, what was it? But let me just say this to you because I've been in that room where they were going through all of these packages, and it is not for the faint of heart because it is. They are scrutinizing each one of those packages. So to get there in that role, you've done a great job.
Thank you so much.
And it speaks. What do you say? Let my good work speak for me.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any questions or any comments that you would like to say to the audience? Because they're all watching live streaming.
I would say just continue to chase after your dreams. Don't allow yourself to be deterred. There will be those times where you may second guess yourself. You may be the one of one in the room, but allow that to give you the opportunity to shine even brighter, to continue to just pursue what you're doing, but at the same time, continue to reach back and pull with you those that are behind you. I benefited from that, and I think it's just so important that we all continue to do that. And just thank you for the time.
Oh, and thank you, Dr. Ashley Johnson Long. Thank you so much, Chief of Staff to the President and the COO of Corning. Thank you.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful day
You
and
as well.
enjoy your award and the gala over the weekend.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.